My name is Precious and I died on a Monday morning at 9:47 in the morning. Well, I almost died. The doctors told me later that my heart stopped beating for 4 minutes and 12 seconds, but in those 4 minutes, I saw forever. Before we go on, please tell me where you're listening from. It would be nice to feel close even though we're far apart. Also, don't forget to like this video. It will help this reach so many people who need to hear this story. Leave a comment too. Share what you think about this story, about what happens when you almost die. Let's talk about it together so we can learn from each other here on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Enjoy listening. I was 34 years old when this happened. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful children, Emma, who is 8, and little David, who is 6. My husband Mark and I have been married for 12 years. We live in a small town where everyone knows everyone. I work part-time at the local library because I love books and helping people find what they're looking for. I also volunteer at our church, helping with the children's Sunday school. I've always been a believer, but I thought I knew everything about God and heaven. I was so wrong. That Monday morning started like any other day. I dropped the kids off at school and was driving to the store to buy food for dinner. I was singing along to a worship song on the radio. The sun was shining through my car window, making everything look golden and peaceful. I was thinking about what to cook for dinner and wondering if Mark would like the new recipe I found online. That's when the big truck came. It ran through the red light like a wild animal charging. Metal and glass exploded all around me. The world turned upside down. My little blue car rolled over 3 times before it hit a telephone pole and stopped. Pain shot through my whole body like lightning. And then nothing. Everything went dark. But the darkness didn't last long. A warm, soft light started to shine around me. It was gentle like a candle, but brighter than the sun. I felt myself floating up, weightless, like a leaf in a gentle wind. The pain was gone. The fear was gone. All that was left was peace. I looked down and saw my body lying crushed in the twisted metal of my car. People were running toward it, shouting into their phones, but their voices sounded far away, like sounds in a deep cave. I should have been scared, but I wasn't. Something was calling me up. The light got brighter, and I felt myself moving through what looked like a tunnel made of clouds and starlight. Beautiful music filled the air. Not the kind you hear on the radio, but something that touched your very soul. It was like every happy memory I ever had was turned into a song. When the tunnel ended, I found myself standing in a place that took my breath away. Think of the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. Now make that 1,000 times more beautiful. Flowers bloomed in colors I'd never seen before. Their petals shimmered like they were made of liquid light. Rivers of crystal clear water flowed softly between hills of bright green grass that felt like silk under my bare feet. The air itself seemed alive, sparkling with tiny points of light that danced around me like friendly fireflies. Everything pulsed with love and joy and life. It was more real than anything I'd ever seen on earth, but impossible to fully describe with human words. And then I saw him. Jesus stood at the top of a small hill with his arms open wide in welcome. He looked exactly like I'd always imagined, but so much more. His face was kind and gentle with eyes that held all the love in the universe. His white robe seemed to glow from inside, and a crown of light rested on his head. But what struck me most was the urgency in his face, even surrounded by all this beauty and peace. His face carried the weight of serious worry. "My child," he said, and his voice was like warm honey mixed with the strength of thunder. "Precious, my dear daughter." I ran to him like a little girl running to her father after a long day. His hug felt like coming home after being lost for years. In his arms I felt completely safe, completely loved, completely known. "Lord," I whispered, tears streaming down my face. "I don't understand what's happening." He held me gently, stroking my hair. "The time is closer than you think, Precious. I must show you what comes before I return. You must warn my people to get ready. The urgency in his voice made my heart race. "What do you mean, Lord?" "Come," he said, taking my hand. "I will show you." Jesus led me to a place that looked like a balcony overlooking the earth. With a wave of his hand, the scene below began to change like a movie playing very fast. I saw wars breaking out everywhere. Countries I recognized from news reports were firing weapons at each other. Bombs exploded in cities, turning beautiful buildings into piles of broken concrete. People ran through the streets screaming, carrying whatever they could save. "This is only the beginning," Jesus said sadly. "Nation will fight against nation, kingdom against kingdom." The scene changed, and I saw huge farmlands turning brown and dead. Crops withered and died. Store shelves sat empty. Long lines of hungry people waited for small portions of food. Children cried in their mothers' arms, their faces thin and tired. "Hunger will come," Jesus continued. "The earth will struggle to feed its people." But the worst part wasn't the wars or the hunger. It was what I saw happening to people's hearts. Families turned against each other over small fights. Neighbors who had been friends for years suddenly became enemies. Love grew cold everywhere I looked. Then from the shadows of all this chaos, I saw a man step forward. He was handsome and well-dressed with a smile that seemed trustworthy. When he spoke, people gathered around him, hanging on his every word. "Who is that?" asked. Jesus's face grew dark. "The liar, the one who comes in his own name. Watch and see." The man spoke of peace and unity. He promised to end all wars, to feed all the hungry, to solve every problem. The world leaders bowed down to him, and the people cheered. For a moment, it seemed like he might actually keep his promises. But Jesus shook his head. "His peace is false, precious. His promises are lies wrapped in pretty words. He gains power through lies, and the world will believe him because they want to believe." The scene changed again, and I found myself looking at a magnificent temple in Jerusalem. It was more beautiful than any building I'd ever seen, with white stone that gleamed like pearls and gold decorations that caught the sunlight. "The temple has been rebuilt," Jesus explained. "My people have restored it, hoping to worship me there as their ancestors did." I watched as priests in white robes performed ceremonies, offering sacrifices and singing psalms. It was beautiful and holy, and my heart felt warm watching it. But then the handsome liar from the previous vision walked into the temple. The priests welcomed him with smiles and bows. He walked slowly to the most sacred part of the temple, the place where only the highest priest was allowed to go. And there in that holy place, he did something that made my blood turn cold. He sat down on a throne he had placed there. He raised his hands to the crowd that had followed him and declared in a loud voice, "I am God. Bow down and worship me." Some people gasped and ran away in horror. But many others fell to their knees and began worshiping this man as if he really were God. Jesus gripped my hand tighter. "When you see this terrible thing, precious, when you see this sacred place ruined, know that the end is at the door. Tell my people when they see this happen, they must run. Don't even stop to pack a bag. Just run." "But Lord," I said, "how will people know? How can I make them understand?" "Those who truly know me will recognize the signs," he replied. "But many will be fooled because they have not studied my word. They don't know what to watch for." The vision changed once more, and I saw something that made my stomach turn. The liar now ruled the entire world, and he had set up a new system for buying and selling. Everyone had to have a special mark either on their right hand or on their forehead. Without this mark you couldn't buy food, couldn't pay rent, couldn't even get a job. It looked like a small tattoo, but it seemed to glow with an evil light. I watched as people lined up in long lines to receive this mark. Most seemed eager to get it, laughing and chatting as if they were waiting for a fun event. But some people refused. Those who said no were arrested right away. I saw them thrown into prisons, their homes taken away, their families torn apart. Some were even killed for refusing the mark. "This breaks my heart," Jesus said, and I could see tears in his eyes. "My children will suffer greatly for staying faithful to me. But precious, you must tell them. Do not take the mark no matter what they threaten. It may seem like just a simple symbol, but it represents complete loyalty to the enemy." "What about food?" I asked. "How will they eat?" Jesus smiled then, the first smile I'd seen since the visions began. "Remember how I fed the 5,000 with just a few loaves and fish? Remember how I provided food for the Israelites in the desert? My faithful ones will be provided for. They must not fear. I will take care of them." I watched as he showed me hidden groups of believers sharing what little they had. I saw miraculous provisions appearing just when they were needed most. Food, water, shelter, protection. Even in the darkest times, his love shone through his people. Just when I thought the visions couldn't get more intense, the scene around me began to shake. The peaceful heavenly place trembled, and I looked down at earth to see why. The sky was changing. What had been blue and bright was now turning dark, like someone was slowly turning off a giant light switch. The sun flickered and went out, leaving the world in an eerie twilight. Then the moon appeared, but it wasn't the gentle silver moon I knew. This moon was deep red like blood, casting a scary glow over everything. "Look up," Jesus said. I raised my eyes to the heavens and gasped. Stars were falling from the sky like drops of rain, leaving bright streaks as they fell toward earth. But these weren't ordinary falling stars. They were huge, like burning mountains crashing down. The earth shook violently. Mountains crumbled like sand castles. Islands disappeared into the sea. People everywhere ran for cover, but there was nowhere to hide from this cosmic upheaval. "This is when heaven and earth begin to shake," Jesus explained. "The old order is passing away to make room for the new." As I watched in awe and terror, I heard something that made every fiber of my being vibrate. Trumpet sound. It was louder than thunder, more beautiful than any orchestra, and it filled the entire universe around us. In the heavenly place, I saw magnificent angels preparing for something huge. They wore armor that gleamed like lightning and carried swords of pure light. Their faces were set with determination and purpose. "The final battle approaches," Jesus said. "Good and evil will meet for the last time." And then the most incredible sight I could ever imagine unfolded before me. The dark sky split open like a curtain being torn in half. Through that opening, brilliant light poured out, not harsh or blinding, but warm and wonderful and alive. Jesus, still standing beside me, began to glow brighter and brighter. His simple white robe transformed into clothes that sparkled like stars. The crown of light on his head became a crown of solid gold with jewels that seemed to contain entire galaxies. "Now you will see me as I truly am," he said, and his voice carried such power that I fell to my knees. A magnificent white horse descended from the opening in the sky, and Jesus mounted it with grace and authority. Behind him came thousands upon thousands of angels, all riding white horses, all dressed for battle, all singing praises that made the heavens ring. But it wasn't just angels. I saw people too. People who had died and gone to heaven. People who had been faithful to Jesus during their lives on earth. They rode beside the angels, their faces shining with joy and victory. Jesus looked different now, still loving, still kind, but also powerful beyond imagination. His eyes blazed like fire, and from his mouth came a sword of light. On his robe, words were written in letters of gold, "King of Kings and Lord of Lords." As this heavenly army descended toward earth, I heard Jesus speak, and his words echoed across all creation. "Tell them I am coming soon, precious. Tell them to stay watchful. Tell them to keep their lamps burning with oil. The night is almost over, and the dawn is about to break." The vision was so glorious, so overwhelming that I felt my consciousness beginning to fade. The last thing I saw was Jesus turning to look at me directly, his eyes full of love and urgency. "Go back now," he said gently. "Tell them what you have seen. Time is short." I gasped and opened my eyes to find myself staring at a white ceiling. Machines beeped around me and I could smell the clean scent of a hospital. My body ached all over and I was connected to what seemed like a dozen different tubes and wires. "She's awake," a voice said excitedly. A nurse in blue scrubs leaned over me, checking my pulse. "Precious, can you hear me? You've been unconscious for 2 days." My husband's face appeared beside the nurse, his eyes red from crying. "Precious, oh, thank God you're okay." I tried to speak, but my throat was so dry that only a whisper came out. "The visions," I croaked. "I have to tell people." The nurse looked confused, but my husband squeezed my hand. "Honey, you were in a terrible accident. You're safe now. Just rest." But I couldn't rest. Every detail of what I had seen burned in my memory like it was still happening. The urgency in Jesus's voice, the terrible events that were coming, the glorious return. It all felt more real than the hospital room around me. Over the next few weeks, as my body healed, I couldn't stop thinking about the visions. The doctor said I had experienced hallucinations due to lack of oxygen to my brain. My pastor was more open-minded but encouraged me to test everything against Scripture. So I did. I spent hours reading my Bible, comparing what I had seen with the prophecies written thousands of years ago. Daniel, Matthew, Revelation, it was all there. Every detail matching what Jesus had shown me. Now months later I can't stay quiet anymore. I know some people will think I'm crazy. I know others will say it was just a dream caused by trauma. But I also know what I saw and I know who showed it to me. The world is heading toward events that will shake everything we think we know. Wars are coming that will make previous conflicts look small. Hunger will spread like never before. A leader will rise who seems like the answer to every problem, but his solutions will come with a terrible price. There will be a rebuilt temple in Jerusalem. And when you see someone claiming to be God sitting in that holy place, you'll know the end is very close. A system will come where everyone must choose. Take a mark of loyalty to this false god or lose everything. Choose God and be prepared to suffer, but know that He will provide. The sky itself will change and stars will fall like rain. But then when it seems like all hope is lost, the heavens will open and Jesus will return as the conquering king He truly is. I'm not a preacher or a prophet. I'm just a regular woman, a mother and wife who happened to see beyond the wall between earth and heaven. But Jesus told me to warn people, and that's what I'm doing. Get ready. Read your Bible. Pray without stopping. Love each other while you still can. Keep your faith strong because it's going to be tested in ways we can't imagine. But also remember this, we win. Good triumphs over evil. Light defeats darkness. Jesus is coming back, and when He does, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that He is Lord. The time is shorter than we think. The signs are all around us. Keep watching. Keep waiting. Keep your lamp burning bright. He's coming soon. Thank you for listening. If you have been blessed, please like this video. It will help YouTube show it to more people who need to hear about these stories today. Also, share this video with your loved ones. It will be a great way to share Christ with others, and that will be the greatest gift you can give to those that you love. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. It's free and it's a way of joining this great community of believers. Join us today and your life will not remain the same. Until next time, remain blessed.